Today on MTG Unpacked, we're getting stuck into the March of the Machine Commander deck, Cavalry Charge. So this is a white, blue, black combo, also known as Esper. The commander here is Sidar Jabari of Zalfir. And we get a whole bunch of awesome stuff here. So this is primarily a night themed deck. We also have Planechase cards here, so you get 10 of those. 100 card deck with 10 new cards, 10 double-sided tokens, planar die, foil etched display commander life whirl, deck box strategy insert, and reference card. So let's get into it and see what we've got here. So there's 5 of these decks this time around. They are going for about $45 US a piece. So we'll get our deck box here, the actual deck, whole bunch of other stuff. Okay, so we have some punch outs here, Night of the Living Dead, and on the back as well, some counters. Alright, and then our life wheel here. So we're going 40, yep, down to 1 on the other side. And this is the planar die. This was something unexpected. So you've got different symbols on here. So I'll set that aside. In here, what do we got? Oh, okay, so we've got a special envelope. We've got a collector booster sample pack. Let's get into this right away. So these are usually just a couple of cards to whet your appetite for collector boosters. So it's somewhat random what you get here. Okay, so we've got an ad card. And, oh, a mythic Brimaz, Blight of Arescus, a Phyrexian cat, good deal, and a foil Wrath Weatherlight Stalwart. And what you pull out of yours will be different, of course. Here we have the oversized Planechase cards. So these are pretty cool. Planechase is a fun Magic format. Let's take a look at these. So we have Mutual Epiphany. It's a phenomenon. When you encounter Mutual Epiphany, each player draws 4 cards. Then plans walk away from this phenomenon. So we've got 5 reprints and 5 new cards per box. Next up, we've got Orochi Colony. Plain Kamigawa. Whenever a creature you control deals combat damage to a player, you may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield, tap, then shuffle. And whenever chaos ensues, target creature can't be blocked this turn. Okay, so we've got 2 of those. Turi Island. So this is a plain ear. Creature spells cost 2 less to cast. And whenever chaos ensues, reveal the top 3 cards of your library. Put all creature cards revealed this way into your hand and the rest into your graveyard. Okay, next up we have Sokenzan. Plain Kamigawa. All creatures get +1/+1 have haste. And whenever chaos ensues, untap all creatures that attack this turn. If it's a main phase, there's an additional combat phase after this phase, followed by an additional main phase. And I'm really liking the artwork on these. Absolutely fantastic. We've got Truga Jungle, Plain Urgamon. All lands have tap, add 1 mana of any color. And whenever chaos ensues, rule the top 3 cards of your library, put all land cards ruled this way into your hand, and the rest on the bottom of your library in any order. Awesome. And Litjara, Plain Kaldheim. When you planeswalk to Litjara at the beginning of your upkeep, create a 2/2 blue shapeshift creature token with Changeling. It's every creature type. And whenever chaos ensues, choose a creature type, put a +1/+1 counter on each creature you control of that type. So you can see how these Planechase cards really mix up the games. All sorts of different effects here. We've got Paliano is the Plane of Fiora. Whenever 1 or more creatures you control deal combat damage to a player, if there is no monarch, you become the monarch. And whenever chaos ensues, create a 1/1 black assassin creature token with death touch and haste. What else? We got Innis Hayen, Plain Cridhay, I think that's how you pronounce it. When you planeswalk to Innis Hayen, at the beginning of your upkeep, mill 3 cards. And when you planeswalk away from Innis Hayen, each player returns all land cards from their graveyard to the battlefield tapped. And whenever chaos ensues, return target non-land card from your graveyard to your hand. And next up, we've got the Chaldea, Plain Capenna. Creature spells you cast from your hand have Blitz 3. So if you cast a spell for its Blitz cost, it gains haste, and when this creature dies, draw a card, sacrifice it at the beginning of your next end step. And whenever chaos ensues, return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. And finally here we have Unyaro, Plain Zalfir. At the beginning of your end step, if you planeswalk to Unyaro this turn, untap all creatures they phase out until a player planeswalks. And whenever chaos ensues, create 2/2/2 white and blue knight creature tokens with vigilance. Okay, so we will set these aside. And I think this is what they mean by chaos ensues. When you roll that, that's when that effect takes place. Otherwise, you've just got a planeswalker symbol or nothing. Okay, and let's see what else we've got here. So this is a flyer, tells you about the deck. So special rules about Commander if you are new to the format, so you can check that out. And it also tells you about Planechase. So rolling the planar die, if the planeswalker symbol is rolled, they flip the top card of the planar deck face up, replacing the current plane. Okay, so that's how that works. And on the other side, we have Sidar Jabari of Zalfir. So some nice lore about this commander and how to play the deck. So this is a knight-based deck, as you might imagine. So if you're into knight tribal, this could be the deck for you. We also get a nice deck box here with the commander. So this would typically, let's check this out. Yeah, this would fit a sleeved deck in there, I would think. Okay, so let's get into the deck itself. So the Planechase Cards was a nice surprise. Wasn't expecting that. Let's see here. So we've got our lands. And let's cut to, where is it? There is a, here we go. There's a thicker card here. This is the display commander. So we've got Sidar Jabari of Zalfir. Okay, so thicker display commander. Obviously you can't shuffle that into your deck, but you do have a regular one here that you can use to play with. Okay, so we start off here, Sidar Jabari of Zalfir. It's a mythic legendary creature, human knight, 4/3 for 4. Has eminence. Whenever you attack with one or more knights, if Sidar Jabari of Zalfir is in the command zone or on the battlefield, draw a card, then discard a card. Has flying and first strike, and whenever Sidar Jabari deals combat damage to a player, return target knight creature card from your graveyard to the battlefield. Okay, and we get another foil one here. So this is also a mythic. Elenda and Azor, legendary creature, vampire knight, sphinx with flying and ward 2. Whenever Elenda and Azor attacks, you may pay X white, blue and black. If you do, draw X cards. At the beginning of each end step, you may pay 4 life. If you do, create a number of 1/1 black vampire knight creature tokens with lifelink equal to the number of cards you've drawn this turn. Okay, and next up, so we've got some lands here. Bajuka Bog enters battlefield tapped. When it enters battlefield, exile target player's graveyard, tap for black. Command Tower, a land, tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. Commander's Sphere, artifact, tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. If you sacrifice it, draw a card. And Distant Melody, sorcery for 4, choose a creature type. So you're probably going to choose knights with this one. Draw a card for each permanent you control of that type. Evolving Wilds. It's a land, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And Fractured Power Stone. It's an artifact for 2, tap 4 colors, tap, roll the planar die, activate only as a sorcery. So that's a reference to the Planechase mechanic here. Orzhov Signet, artifact for 2, pay 1, tap, add white and black. We got Path of Ancestry. It's a land, enters battlefield tapped. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. When that mana is spent to cast a creature spell that shares a creature type with your commander, scry 1. And Read the Bones. Sorcery for 2 and a black, scry 2, then draw 2 cards, you lose 2 life. Smitten Swordmaster, creature human knight, 2/1 for 2. So the curry favor portion that costs black. Sorcery adventure, you gain X life and each opponent loses X life where X is the number of knights you control, or the creature portion has lifelink. So you can either cast the adventure and then on the following turn you can do the creature portion, or just go straight to the creature. We've got Terramorphic Expanse. It's a land, tap, sack it, search your library for a basic land card, put it onto battlefield, tap, then shuffle. Thriving Heath. It's a land. Thriving Heath enters battlefield tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a color other than white. Tap to add white or 1 mana of the chosen color. Thriving Isle. We have another land here. Enters battlefield tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a color other than blue. Tap to add blue or 1 mana of the chosen color. Thriving Moor. It enters tapped. As it enters battlefield, choose a color other than black. Add black or 1 mana of the chosen color. And Arcane Sanctum enters battlefield tapped. Tap for white, blue, or black. And Arcane Signet, artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color in your commander's color identity. So that one's probably going to be in all of these decks. Arvad the Curse, legendary creature Vampire Knight, 3/3 for 5 with Death Touch and Lifelink. Other legendary creatures you control get +2/+2. Corpse Knight, creature Zombie Knight, 2/2 for 2. Whenever another creature enters battlefield under your control, each opponent loses 1 life. And Despark, instant for 2. Exile target permanent with mana value 4 or greater. Felwar Stone, artifact for 2. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. And Foulmire Knight, creature Zombie Knight, 1/1 for a single black, has Profane Insight for 2 and a black, instant adventure. You draw a card and you lose 1 life, or the creature has Death Touch. Herald's Horn, this is a nice reprint, artifact for 3. As it enters battlefield, choose a creature type. Creature spells you cast to the chosen type cost 1 less to cast. And at the beginning of your upkeep, look at the top card of your library. If it's a creature card of the chosen type, you may reveal it and put it into your hand. We got Knight of the Last Breath, creature Giant Knight, 4/4 for 7 for 3. Sack another non-token creature. You get to create a 1/1 white and black spirit creature token with flying. Has Afterlife 3. So that means when this creature dies, create 3 1/1 white and black spirit creature tokens with flying. Knights of the Black Rose, creature Human Knight, 4/4 for 5. When Knights of the Black Rose enters battlefield, you become the monarch. And whenever an opponent becomes the monarch, if you were the monarch as the turn began, that player loses 2 life and you gain 2 life. Mind Stone, artifact for 2. Tap 4 colorless for 1. Tap, sack it, draw a card. And Myriad Landscape, it's a land. Enters battlefield tap. Tap 4 colorless for 2. Tap, sack it. Search your library for up to 2 basic land cards that share a land type. Put them onto the battlefield tap, then shuffle. And Order of Midnight, creature Human Knight, 2/2 for 2. Has Alter Fate for 1 and a black, sorcery adventure. Return target creature card from your graveyard to your hand. Or the creature portion has flying. Order of Midnight can't block. Path to Exile, instant for a single white. Exile target creature, its controller may search your library for a basic land card, put it onto the battlefield tapped, then shuffle. And Exsanguinator Cavalry, creature Vampire Knight, 2/3 for 3 with Menace and Lifelink. Whenever a knight you control deals combat damage to a player, put a +1/+1 counter on that creature and create a blood token. And Ichor Elixir, I think this is a new one, artifact for 4. If you'd roll 1 or more planar dice, instead roll that many planar dice +1 and ignore 1. Tap for 2 colorless. And Herald of Hoofbeats, creature Human Knight, 3/3 for 4 with Horsemanship. There's a blast from the past. This creature can't be blocked except by creatures with Horsemanship. Other knights you control have Horsemanship. And Lochthwain Lancer, creature Human Knight, 5/5 for 5 with Menace. Whenever a non-token knight you control dies, each opponent loses 1 life and you draw a card. Okay, so there's the first part of the deck. Let's get stuck into the rest here. We have Chivalric Alliance, enchantment for 2. Whenever you attack with 2 or more creatures, draw a card. For 2, discard a card. You get to create a 2/2 white and blue knight creature token with vigilance. Very nice. And Path of the Enigma, sorcery for 5. Target player draws 4 cards and it has Will of the Planeswalkers. Starting with you, each player votes for Planeswalk or Chaos. If Planeswalk gets more votes, Planeswalk. If Chaos gets more votes, or the vote is tied, chaos ensues. And that ties in with those Planechase cards. Vidalian Wave Knight, creature Merfolk Knight, 3/3/4/4. Whenever you draw a card, put a +1/+1 counter on each other Merfolk and or Knight you control. Conjurer's Mantle, artifact equipment for 2. Equipped creature gets +1/+1 and has vigilance. Whenever equipped creature attacks, look at the top 6 cards of your library. You may reveal a card that shares a creature type with that creature from among them. Put it into your hand. Put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. Equip it for 1. And Aethersworn Adjudicator. It's a mythic. Artifact creature. Vidalcan Knight. 4/4/5 with flying for 1 white and black. Tap. Destroy target creature or enchantment for 2 and a blue. Untap Aethersworn Adjudicator. And another mythic. Hero of Bladehold. Creature Humanite 3/4/4 with Battle Cry. Whenever this creature attacks each other, attacking creature gets +1/+0 until end of turn. Whenever Hero of Bladehold attacks, create 2 1/1 white soldier creature tokens that are tapped and attacking. And another mythic. We got Vona, Butcher of Magan. So this one's from Ixalan, I think. Legendary creature Vampire Knight. 4/4/5 with Vigilance and Lifelink. Tap, pay 7 life, destroy target non-land permanent. Activate only during your turn. And Acclaimed Contender, creature Humanite 3/3/3. When it enters battlefield, if you control another knight, look at the top 5 cards of your library. You may reveal a knight, aura, equipment, or legendary artifact card from among them. Put it into your hand, put the rest on the bottom of your library in a random order. And another nice reprint here. Adeline Resplendent Cathar, legendary creature Humanite, star 4/3. Has vigilance. Its power is equal to the number of creatures you control, and whenever you attack, for each opponent, create a 1/1 white human creature token that's tapped and attacking that player or a planeswalker they control. We've got Ariel, Knight of Windgrace, legendary creature Humanite, 4/4/4 with vigilance for 2 and a white. Tap. Create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance for a black. Tap. You get to also tapping X untapped knights you control. You get to destroy target creature with power X or less. And a land here, Choked Estuary. As it enters battlefield, you may reveal an island or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, it enters battlefield tapped. Tap for blue or black. We've got Exotic Orchard, a land. Tap to add 1 mana of any color that a land an opponent controls could produce. Fel the Mighty, sorcery for 5. Destroy all creatures with power greater than target creature's power. We got Hakon, Stromgold Scourge, legendary creature, Zombie Knight, 3/3/3. You may cast Hakon from your graveyard, but not from anywhere else. As long as Hakon is on the battlefield, you may cast night spells from your graveyard. When Hakon dies, you lose 2 life. And Josuves, Lich Knight, legendary creature, Zombie Knight, 4/5/4 with kicker, 5 and a black. So you can pay that extra as you cast the spell. Has Menace. When Josuves, Lich Knight enters battlefield, if it was kicked, create 8 2/2 black Zombie Knight creature tokens with Menace. Awesome. We got Knight Exemplar, creature Humanite, 2/2/3 with first strike. Other knight creatures you control get +1/+1 and have indestructible. Knight of the White Orchid, creature Humanite, 2/2/2 with first strike. When it enters battlefield, if an opponent controls more lands than you may search your library for a plains card, put it onto the battlefield, then shuffle. And Knight's Charge enchantment for 3. Whenever a knight you control attacks, each opponent loses 1 life and you gain 1 life. For 6 white and black, sack it. Return all knight creature cards from your graveyard to the battlefield. And Liliana's Standard Bearer, creature Zombie Knight, 3/1/3 with flash. When it enters battlefield, draw X cards, where X is the number of creatures that died under your control this turn. Maul of the Skyclaves, artifact equipment for 3. When it enters battlefield, attach it to target creature you control. Equipped creature gets +2/+2 and it has flying and first strike. Equipped for 2 and 2 white. We got Midnight Reaper, creature Zombie Knight, 3/2/3. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, Midnight Reaper deals 1 damage to you and you draw a card. Murderous Rider, creature Zombie Knight, 2/3/3. With Swift End, 1 and 2 black, instant adventure. Destroy target creature or planeswalker. You lose 2 life. Or the creature portion has lifelink. When it dies, put it on the bottom of its owner's library. That one was pretty good when Throne of Eldraine was out. We've got Painful Truths, sorcery for 3, has Converge. You draw X cards and you lose X life, where X is the number of colors of mana spent to cast this spell. Port Town, a land enters battlefield. You may reveal a plains or island from your hand. If you don't, it enters battlefield tap for white or blue. Another one for white or blue enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. So that's Prairie Stream. Promise of Loyalty. Sorcery for 5. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature they control and sacrifices a rest. Each of those creatures can't attack you or planeswalkers you control for as long as it has a vow counter on it. Pull from Tomorrow. Instant for X and 2 blue. Draw X cards, then discard a card. Shine Shadow's Snarl. Land as it enters battlefield, you may reveal a plains or swamp card from your hand. If you don't, it enters tap for white or black. We got the Sigiled Sword of Valoron. Artifact equipment for 3. Equipped creature gets +2/+0 and has vigilance and is a knight in addition to its other types. Whenever equipped creature attacks, create a 2/2 white knight creature token with vigilance that's attacking, equipped for 3. And Silverwing Squadron. Creature human knight star for 6 has flying and vigilance. Its power and toughness are each equal to the number of creatures you control. Whenever it attacks, create a number of 2/2 white knight creature tokens with vigilance equal to the number of opponents you have. Sunken Hollow. It's a land, island, swamp. Tap for blue or black. Enters tapped unless you control 2 or more basic lands. Temple of Deceit. Enters tapped. When it enters battlefield, scry 1. Tap for blue or black. Temple of Enlightenment. Same deal as the previous one. Tap for white or blue. And Temple of Silence. Tap for white or black. And the same thing there with the scrying. Time Wipe. Sorcery for 5. Return a creature you control to its owner's hand and destroy all creatures. Unbreakable Formation. Instant for 3. Creatures you control gain indestructible until end of turn. Has Addendum. If you cast a spell during your main phase, put a +1/+1 counter on each of those creatures and they gain vigilance until end of turn. Valiant Knight. Creature human knight 3/4 for 4. Other knights you control get +1/+1 for 3 and 2 white. Knights you control gain double strike until end of turn. Vanquisher's Banner. This is a nice one. Artifact for 5. As it enters battlefield, choose a creature type. Creatures you control of the chosen type get +1/+1. Whenever you cast a creature spell of the chosen type, draw a card. Worthy Knight. Creature human knight 2/2 for 2. Whenever you cast a knight spell, create a 1/1 white human creature token. Return to Dust. Instant for 4. Exile target artifact or enchantment. If you cast a spell during your main phase, you may exile up to 1 other target artifact or enchantment. And Soul Ring. Artifact for 1. Tap for 2 colorless, pretty much in every commander deck these days. Swords to Plowshares. Instant for a single white. Exile target creature its controller gains life equal to its power. And Sir Eleanor the Discerning. Legendary creature human knight star 4 for 5. Its power is equal to the number of cards in your hand. When it enters the battlefield, draw a card. Spells your opponent's cast that target Sir Eleanor costs 2 more to cast. And Sir Conrad the Grim. Legendary creature human knight 5/4 for 5. Whenever another creature dies or a creature card is put into a graveyard from anywhere other than the battlefield, or a creature card leaves your graveyard, Sir Conrad the Grim deals 1 damage to each opponent. And for 1 and a black, each player mills a card. We've got Temple of the False God. It's a land. Tap for 2 colorless. Activate only if you control 5 or more lands. And Wintermoor Commander. Creature human knight star, or what is it? 2 star for 2 with Death Touch. Its toughness is equal to the number of knights you control. Whenever Wintermoor Commander attacks, another target knight you control gains indestructible until end of turn. We got a Xerex Strobe Knight. Creature human knight 2/2 for 3 with flying and vigilance. Tap, create a 2/2 white and blue knight creature token with vigilance. Activate only if you've cast 2 or more spells this turn. Okay, so now we will move on to the lands and tokens here. So plains, we have 8 of those, and islands, 6 of those, swamps, 5 of those. Okay, and then the tokens here, I'm expecting tons of knights. So we've got a 2/2 knight with vigilance. On the other side, a spirit with flying, 1/1. Okay, knight and spirit, yep. Vampire Knight, 1/1 with lifelink. On the other side, we have a Soldier, 1/1. Another Vampire Knight, Soldier, okay, Blood Token. So pay 1, tap, discard a card, sack this artifact, draw a card. On the other side, we have a Shapeshifter with Changeling, a 2/2. Zombie Knight, 2/2 with Menace. Flipping it around, Human, 1/1. Another Zombie Knight, another Human, a Knight, 2/2 with Vigilance. On the other side, we've got an Assassin, 1/1 with Death Touch and Haste. Another Knight and Assassin, yep. And a Monarch token. Okay, and parts of the turn and popular Magic formats. Okay, so this deck looks pretty cool, actually. I like the addition of the Planechase cards here. So that adds a bit of variety to the games. Let me know in the comments what you think. This one might be for you if you are interested in Knight decks. And stay tuned, we'll be getting stuck into the rest of the Commander decks over the coming days. Hope everyone's staying safe and healthy out there. Thanks for watching and have a great day.